Hey, it's Nico, and welcome to another video. Just to preface this, I'd like to say that I am an incredibly socially awkward person, and I'm really nervous for this, but this is a really cool opportunity that I've been given to hang out with another trans YouTuber that I happened upon while scrolling through my YouTube recommended feed. So, Theo, somebody that you probably know, and I have been talking, and I asked him if he wanted to do this video, and he said yeah, so we're gonna do this now. Hey!
I gotta set up my camera, hold on. Phone as a camera because I don't have a webcam.
That's fair. Honestly, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so I first of all wanted to preface everything by saying that I have extreme social anxiety. So,
Me too.
the fact that I'm here at all is, I had to, jump up and down outside of my room and, psych myself up for this. Because talking on the
know.
phone with people is just so stressful to me. So...
Yeah. No, I do these, panels on, this one streamer's Twitch, and, every time I'm, getting in a call with, 5 people who I've never spoken to, and I'm just,
No, it's...
myself up.
It's just so stressful. So, I have a little list of things to talk about transition-wise, and it's really a bare bones list.
Yeah.
But I figured...
make it work.
Okay.
I can waffle for a while.
Swag, okay. So, first, I wanted to talk about, where do you, without being, where do you live? What part of the world are you in?
A lot of people are very confused by that. I get it's very confusing. I live in England. I live in the north of England, up north, and basically I moved here when I was 13 with my family. So I am from America. That's why I have the accent.
Right. I was
But
you don't sound like it. I was
No, it always throws people off. They're like, wait, why did you say pounds as currency?
Yeah.
I
No.
buy things in pounds.
Because I was talking to you about when we could set this up, and then you were like, yeah, this is my time zone. And I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, stop. That's not how that... I did not expect that to go that way. But when it comes to coming out and being queer, do you think that the location that you're in has, any sort of effect on that?
Yeah. Basically, I was from Alabama.
Oh,
so
boy.
You can tell how that went. And then I moved to Manchester, which is one of the biggest cities in England, and is known for the big gay district, but
Yeah.
so it was definitely a big shift.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Missouri, so the Alabama is, worse, but
Yeah.
I'm in the Midwest, so the one thing I can say about it is that I am in, a big city, so I do at least get that, and my parents are very, liberal and super open, so, that's been fine on that end and everything, but I do, I have faced a lot of bullshit because of where I am. I talked about my parents for a second. If you feel comfortable, if they're good, how did that go with your family?
Well, my parents aren't actually from Alabama. Basically, the city I was in Alabama had a big army base and a bunch of out of town work. So my parents are from Ohio, so also Midwest.
Yeah.
But they just moved there for work. So they didn't quite have the Alabama mindset. And so they were quite open about it. My mom basically came out to my whole family for me. I told my mom, and she was like, let me do the networking. Because I was like, I'm scared.
Yeah, see, that was something that I had to deal with. Actually, my grandpas are gay. I have... Yeah. So I already, knew that was gonna be fine on my mom's side of the family. What I was worried about was my dad's side of the family. Because they are Christian. And so I was like, I don't really know how this is going to go. And even though I didn't ask my dad to come out for me to them, he did anyways. And I feel like that was good because I was in 6th grade and I probably couldn't have handled that conversation with them. And they ended up being fine, but I was so worried about it. So
My dad's side, They are not Christian. They're just like a little Facebooky in the brain.
Oh yeah, no,
So,
totally.
I don't know, I've been out for like 4.5 years, nothing. Gotten nothing. Like, they're just fully in denial. I
Yeah,
think they're maybe okay with possible lesbianism, but I don't know if they're
they're not
quite
ready
ready.
to. Yeah,
No, and they know. Because, like, I go there and, like, my sister is, like, calling me Theo, her brother, and then they're
yeah.
just like, I
No,
pretend I do
just
not see it.
yup. They don't
Yeah,
see you. Yeah.
no.
No, that's I do want to say something. This is completely off topic, but the first video that I watched of you, you were pre-T pre-everything. How long have you been on testosterone? Like 6 weeks?
Yeah, it's been about 6 weeks. I don't know. My 2 months is the 26th. I'm not good with like counting weeks and whatever, but I am just like in between 1 month and 2 months now, so it's going pretty good.
Yeah, but you don't sound 6 weeks. You sound like
No, oh my
six
god, it
months
was
or more.
literally like it was like couple days after I hit my 1 month on T. I woke up. It was a day where I like didn't have college, didn't have anything, so I just wasn't like speaking. I was just chilling. And it wasn't until I went to call for my dog, and like you know how you do like a high voice to like call for like an animal, it
Right.
completely shattered and broke, and I was like, whoa. And then I
Yeah.
started like just talking, and I was like, my voice is different. And like literally for the past 2 weeks, my throat has just been burning and like so scratchy and sore. I don't have COVID. I've had so many negative tests. I've gone through like 2 packs of like throat lozenges. Like for some reason, my voice decided to go down real quick and just destroy my entire throat. Like that's why I'm drinking so often.
Yeah.
Like I literally have to wake up and immediately put like a throat soother in because I'll just wake up. It's. I mean, I like my voice, but also I don't like what it's doing to my throat currently.
Dude, I am a year and a half on testosterone,
Whoa.
and I didn't notice like any sort of vocal change until like over a year. So whenever
Really?
you were doing your voice update for 6 weeks, I was like,
Oh, the voice update.
where was mine? I was like, how do I get it?
It's ridiculous because I was like really having to like talk to myself and like had this dialogue be like, if it doesn't happen right away, don't freak out, like it's gonna be fine. And like in the first month, not a lot happened like physically, and like it was mostly just like emotional stuff and like and so I was like trying to be like, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it'll pick up at around 3 to 6 months maybe. This past month, so much has happened. It's like I've gotten hit by a bus.
I also did the thing where I was like, it's okay, it doesn't have to all happen at once. But
Yeah.
then I got around like the 6th, 7th month range, and I was like, where is anything? Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And I think it's because I am like young. I started T early technically. I'm 16 now, but you're not allowed to start until you're 16. But I started when I was 15. So I think they started me off at like a super, super low dose is the thing about it. So I wasn't like actually noticing anything. I've also been doing injections, and you've been doing the gel, right?
Yeah, any myth that gel doesn't work as well as injections, it's complete bullshit. And
Yeah, we've debunked it right here.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Debunked live.
On the topic of a medical transition, do you have like any future wishes when it comes to like surgeries and stuff or other medical procedures?
Yes, definitely. So, I do want top surgery.
Me too, me
That
too.
is definitely yeah. Haven't really like actually started anything to like have that yet, but it is like I do know I want it. Phalloplasty, I have wanted for a very long time, and I still do want. It's just right now in the UK, I don't think anyone's actively doing phalloplasty. Like there was one clinic who did it in London. I don't know. I think they've stopped. So, but like I mean, I'm only getting tattoos on like my right arm. I'm like keeping the left arm
Yeah.
open. But we'll see about that.
I mean, I would suggest coming to America, but the medical bills will be astronomical. So, also with all the shit in government, like,
Yeah, you just gotta see what happens with with that. But you have to be on testosterone for at least a year before that, because you need bottom growth to obviously build off of.
right. See, I want top surgery, and I'm not old enough to be able to do that. I have to be 18 for the insurance to cover it, and I'm not going to go in there and have to pay it all on my own, because that would be stupid. And I also want phalloplasty, but the thing about that I've always, like, is that I'm nervous because of the dangers that are associated with it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that just, like, gives me pause. And I've heard that meta is a lot safer, but it's also not as realistic. So I've had to, like, juggle these, like thoughts in my head.
For me, something I have been thinking about is, like, part of, like, the whole reason you have, like, a lot of the complications is with the urethral lengthening. Sorry to get gross, but, like, there is an option to get it without that. And so it just kind of leaves it, like, just where it is, and then you also have the phallus. So you wouldn't be able to stand to pee, but it would reduce complications. And so I'm like, well, I don't really get dysphoric from having to sit to pee.
Right.
So, like, if it could, like, cut down on, like, a whole procedure and on complications, I'm like, maybe. But also, if I'm gonna have it anyway, like, might as well.
You're, like, out of your parents' home, right? You're living on your own. You're old enough. You're an adult. No?
I mean, I'm 18, but, like, I'm still living here in my parents' house because I just turned 18 in November, so.
Okay.
If I was in America, I'd be a senior in high school, so.
The only reason I asked was because I assumed you were old enough to have gone in and gotten your, like, top surgery consultation. So I was wondering if there was anything that was stopping you from doing that, or if you just haven't had the time, or...
I am old enough. The thing is, with the UK right now, we have public health care that is free, and that's great. However, there are only 8 gender clinics in the whole of the country for all 600,000 people. So let's be liberal and say less than 1%. That is still tens of thousands of people who need to go to a gender clinic. And, like, 8 across that. So right now the wait times are anywhere from 5 to 8 years before you get seen for an appointment.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So basically, you have to be 16 for them to start you on hormones anyway. So I waited until I was 16. By then, the wait times are crazy, so we thought to go privately, to just pay to have it done. So you can pay to get a diagnosis of gender dysphoria, take that diagnosis to your normal doctor and be like, look, I'm diagnosed, you prescribe me hormones, and then the hormones are free.
Mm-hmm.
So we were looking into that, but you needed to be at least 17 to do that route. So then I had to wait again till I was 17, did that whole thing. It took many, many months of waiting, because there are also wait times for private things. They're just a couple of months, not a couple of years.
Right.
So then finally, a couple of months ago in November, when I turned 18, I also happened to get my testosterone at the same time by going privately to do that. So now my testosterone is free, but I did have to pay someone to give me a prescription, and I had to pay an endocrinologist to, like, give me my levels and stuff. So, like, top surgery now, I have no clue how long the wait times would even be, if I would even, like, apply, because I'd still have to go through them. So privately, the one I'm looking at would be around £8,000 or $10,000, which isn't, like, insane, but, like, it's still quite a lot.
So switching off of medical transition, I wanted to talk about social transition. When you came out, and kind of how you told your friends, and how quickly you feel like you became you.
Well, here's my very unique, one-of-a-kind story with that. I came out, like, 2 months before we moved to England. So I came out to my family, didn't really come out to my friends, just changed my name on my Instagram, then moved to a new country and just introduced myself as Theo to everyone there. So I never really had the experience of, like, having to, like, socially come out, really. Like, I did, but I didn't have to, like, get used to people using new names and pronouns that much, because literally at the same time I just decided to move to another country.
Right, so everybody, the first time you introduced yourself to everybody, you just were Theo, and you had the correct pronouns used for you.
Yeah, I had, like, my little flags in my Instagram. Like, I wasn't, like, stealth, but, like, it was a lot easier to just, like, have most of my friends not even know my dead name.
Right, yeah. Whenever I was, like, really young, and I was still presenting as female, so, like, in elementary school and stuff, I have always had a very masculine appearance, and so I would, like, go out to restaurants and stuff, and they would say, like, young man and stuff to me. And my mom would always correct them, and that would get on my nerves, but I didn't understand why it got on my nerves. And I used to, like, lie to, like, my friends, like, people that I knew, and be like, yeah, actually, I am a boy. And, like, tell them, like, that my name was Jake and whatever. And so, you know me, Jake. And,
It's Jake.
right. And so then, like, this one boy specifically that I grew up with, he was my best friend throughout elementary school. And then when I finally had the language to, like, put to how I felt, and I told him, he was immediately not my friend anymore. He was a hardcore Christian Trump supporter. And I, like, said something to him, hey, by the way, in the past, you remember how I used to tell you that I was a boy? That's because I am, but not because I was born that way, because I just, you know. And then he was like, no, it can't be your friend anymore. And I was distraught. Like, I don't even... And so I went through this period of time of just not having any friends, because I didn't know if people... Like, I didn't know if people wanted to be my friend or whatever, and I thought every, like, person who was being nice to me was being disingenuous. And until finally in, like, high school, I got it figured out. But, like, even then, moving into high school and, like, having new teachers that now I'm going into their classes and being like, hey, this is my name and these are my pronouns, they still fuck it up. And I'm like, you haven't known me as anything else. You have no excuse to fuck it up.
It really hurts when people who literally have never known you going by she, her pronouns accidentally use them. Because it's not like, oh, they're not used to the new pronouns. It's like, oh, I really just, like, it just hurts you because it's like, I don't pass that, like,
yeah.
I look so feminine that this person who's always known me as a boy is just subconsciously saying she, her.
Yeah, one of the things that I said, we were having some sort of thing at school. It's not important where it came from, but is that it always hurts more when somebody, like, politely sees me as the opposite gender than when somebody, like, straight up chooses, like, in a harmful way to use the wrong name and pronouns. Because when somebody is politely seeing me as something I'm not, then it's clear to me that I'm, like, not passing, or that it, like, really shows, again, the binary lens that society looks through. And that always hurts so much more. So you've been out for 5 years?
Yeah, like 4.5, 5 years, yeah.
I came out, in I know the day, actually. January 30th of, 2017. That's what it was. Because I was 11 years old, and it was 6th grade, and the Boy Scouts of America had just, allowed transgender kids to join the Boy Scouts. Like, little boys. Yeah.
I remember that.
And so they, like, announced that on the news as we were driving to school. My brother from the back seat just goes to my mom. He's like, what does that mean? And I was, like, not gonna ask because I was old enough, and I was like, I should probably know, so I'm not gonna say anything. And then as my mom is explaining this, I'm like, oh my god. Like, me. And then not realizing the weight of my words, we got to school and pulled into the lot, and I put on my backpack and got out of the car and went, yeah, that's me, and then shut the door and walked into school. And then I got in the car.
Learning that you're trans and coming out within, like, 2 minutes of each other.
Literally. And then I came out of school after it was over and got in the car, put everything in the car, and then my mom is just looking at me. I'm like...
She's just like...
What's up? And she's like, do you want to talk about this morning? I was like, what about it? And she was like...
Like, the Boy Scouts are super cool. Like...
Yeah, come on. I've always wanted to be in the Boy Scouts. And then apparently, I don't remember this part, but apparently I went into the school counselor that day and asked the school counselor if I was allowed to use the men's restroom. And she was like, what the fuck who are you?
So you had to hype yourself up to get on a call with me today But in 2017, you were just ready to walk into the school counselor and be like, by the way, I just learned something 3 hours ago that is very life-changing. Can I use the boys' restroom?
Listen, when you put it that way, do you have any sort of, like, funny story about, like, whenever you were younger trying to be, like, the same way that I had Jake, and I was telling people that I was that?
I wasn't like the typical case of like I only wore boys' clothes and stuff. Like I did like boys' clothes, but like I also was really into some of my girls' clothes, you know? And so like, and I loved Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell was my queen. I would do anything for her.
Yeah,
And so, like,
I agree.
But there were just like obviously we all had the like thought like would have been nice to have born a boy. Things could have gone a lot better. But apparently I don't remember this because I was like 4. But, like, you know how when you're, like, a small child, you have to go in the stall with, like, your parent and whatever? And so I went into this stall with my aunt and my younger male cousin, Isaac. Shout out to Isaac.
Shout out Isaac.
He should be watching this, I hope.
Yeah, come on, Isaac.
My normal videos. But, so he was 3, I was 4. And, like, apparently he was just going to the bathroom, and I was like, yo, where can I buy one of those? Talking about his little tiny baby dick. And I asked her to buy one. I don't remember this.
Well, you know, it's a couple $1,000.
Like, now I know.
Yeah, now you know where to buy one. You know where to get it.
Yeah, I did get my answer.
Yeah, you did. You did. Well, I have a question that's completely unrelated to transition, and then we can be done. You can get back to your normal life. How much did those hurt?
These? My
yeah.
bites? It was, like, probably... Well, I did say it was the worst pain I've ever experienced. Then I got tattooed. Tattooed is, like, the worst thing. But this was pretty bad. Because what happens is it hurts when they do it, and then your lip is swollen for, like, a solid couple of days. And it hurts to move it. It hurts to talk. Because, like, you know if you get, like, your ear pierced, it's, like, sore? It's like that, but on your lip, and you're constantly moving your lip. And
such an inconvenient place. I've always wanted my tongue pierced, but then I'm like, eating after that would be awful. It would be atrocious.
Yeah, one of my friends has his tongue pierced. Apparently it's like liquid diet for a week after.
Yeah, it's just like wisdom teeth removal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and talking.
Thank you for sending over the clip for my video. It's very helpful.
We should play games sometime. You're really chill.
We should play games sometime. I do have Minecraft. The thing is, like, I have a Mac, so I can't, like, stream myself playing Minecraft, but, like, I'll join your world and play Minecraft with you.
And I'll stream it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, these are things we could talk about later. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.